Excellent. Welcome to the final, the ultimate, the last Getting to Professional member. A pleasure to have you here. Thank you for being with me for the course of the course. It's been over the last 19, 20 months that we've done this. So there's all up, there's 19, this will be the 19th recording. We have set up a playlist that is open for public access. So all you need to do is go to the YouTube, then search for the Professional Speakers Australia channel, and then go to playlists, and there is Getting to Professional Member. And they are all listed there for you. So you can have a look at the back catalogue of excitement and delight if you so choose to. You can also shoot me an email if you go, what's that playlist again? And I'll shoot it out to you. And I know the office will also have it. So it's all about making sure you've still got some support and some resources available. As I said earlier, our National President Tarran is going to be joining us in about half an hour. She has another event that she's at this time, and so she wants to come in and give us a rundown on what's going to be happening going forward. Now, this evening session is really all about what's next. You know, where we have a month left of affiliates and provisional members left within the association. So what's next for next year? Now, some of you may well be at professional member already. Awesome. So this is an opportunity for you to say, okay, what do I need to do to get to the $50,000 level, or what are some of the different steps? I'm happy to go back and repeat some of the stuff that we've said earlier. It's really up to you. It's like, what's your biggest barrier at this time, and what do you need to do to get there? Now, if we need to set up some accountability partners, happy to do that as well, so that you've got someone on your team waiting for your phone call to find out how you're going with the thing that you're working on. So I don't have any massive words of wisdom that I was planning on sharing this evening. It was more just finding out where everyone's at and what do they need, what help do you need to get to the next level. So someone who's been on the majority of the calls would be the lovely Chris Woolaba. Where are you at? What do you need? And I'm going to be asking everyone, so start thinking about it.
Oh, that's a bit on the spot, Warwick.
It is.
Look, it's interesting. I think that for me, I will persist in hanging around today, because my perception of currently being an affiliate, so therefore will technically drop out of the fold, but I'm taking the responsibility that I'm not dropping out of the fold, because I'm going to hang around.
Yep.
And which means that all of the relationships that I have built over the last 3 or 4 years, I am then responsible for maintaining and growing still. So yep. I don't know that PSA can do any more. I mean, look, the value that you have given already, I mean, do you remember the session you did where you did the you kindly gave us intros and things like that?
Yep.
Well, you know, I was able to use that recently. I mean, I was able to use it straight away whenever those months ago, but just 2 weeks ago, I pulled that out again, gave it to the person that was hosting the event, got them to read it, and I'm just continuing to implement all the gold. And, you know, I will eventually achieve the PSA level.
Yeah. Okay, so it's important to know, so I'll come back to you, Chris. It's important to know before we continue on, everyone is always welcome at PSA, but you'll be welcome as a guest. So it's not like we're like, well, it's the end of the year, thanks very much, see you later. That is not the case. You're always welcome as a guest, and in many ways, it can work out financially advantageous to be coming along just as a guest because there's no annual membership fee. But we would love to have you as a professional member. So, Chris, what do you need to get you to professional member? Is it simply more gigs? Is it more focus on speaking? Is it better marketing?
I'd say it's more speaking gigs, and I'm ramping that up, and I'm now working with the target market that I've been finally discovered this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, with all of the support and encouragement that I've had from the mentors from PSA, Philippe, you, Tarran, all the rest of that, Julie, the whole lot.
Yeah. So how far away are you from getting to the 50 grand?
Oh, I'm still a way off, but
Okay.
I'm doing the right steps of, I spoke at a chapter meeting for an institute, and then someone was in the room that's hosting, that's running the conference, is on the board for the conference for that institute.
Yep.
And at the end, he came up to me and he said, have you submitted your speaking application yet for that? And I went, oh, I'll be on to that. So there's this progression that's happening. So
Yep.
I'm being chosen out of those events now because I've got a lot of the other things correctly in place.
Okay, great. Cool.
So I don't know that there is anything else that I need other than just doing the work.
Yeah. So, accountability might help. All right. Excellent. Thank you, Chris. Let's move around my screen. Trish.
Right. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to hear you say what you have said, Warwick, about us being welcome back, because I was starting to feel a bit lonely and left out. Like that next year, it's like, oh well, it's been great, but you haven't made the cut. I was like so disappointed, and I draw the line at self-pity because I don't do that anymore. But what I discovered not so long ago that would have been handy a couple of years ago was a better focus. I worked with Louise Williams just recently, and I'm continuing to work with her about branding. I had my little midlife crisis not so long ago because I suddenly woke up and realised my next birthday is the 50. And it's also 10 years. If I've already said this to everyone, then I won't bother with it. But I had this conversation. I had mentioned it to 1 or 2 people because it was quite significant. Okay, so come January, it will be 10 years since I went away and I was incarcerated. That was 10 years ago for 8 months. And I realised I had been doing this and I didn't want to do it anymore. I thought, what do I want for my next 10 years? I don't want to be known as the woman who went to jail. Like, that's what I was leading with. Yep. And it sucks, it's like, that's not who I am. And that's like back then, but I've got a lot of value to bring. And working with Louise, I realised that what I am very, very good at is talking to people about adapting to change and change management and so on. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about the popular things like leadership. I mean, that part is part of it because leaders have to be able to do that. And the more we talked about it, the more I realised that's what I'm good at, and adjusting your attitude so that you can adapt. Because point being that instead of leading with the jail thing, which is the attention getter, actually leading with the results I bring. This is the topic and the results I bring. And the reason I have credibility in that is because 10 years ago this happened to me. Yep. And this is what I've learned from it and mastered. So instead of leading with it, it becomes the evidence of support to support what I'm claiming to bring.
Yeah, great.
And when I shifted that mindset, a lot of things freed up in my head and burden dropping off. Because I think the other stuff was too confronting and and it's not who I am. I can draw on a lot of it, but I kind of feel like, oh, damn, why couldn't I have done this, a few years back? And then the money I've spent in developing and learning and that sort of stuff, I guess we could all say that, couldn't we?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So I thought, because I was thinking, what do I want my next 10 years to look like? And I just didn't want to have that label still. I'd rather have it helping people. And I guess there is a bit of self-pity in there and a bit of, how people perceive me. But I feel quite refreshed now, and I don't think it's a bright and shiny. I think it really is something I can bring.
So with the refocus and the rebranding, what are next steps? Are you getting events under that brand and that content?
Well, next week I've got photos with Louise.
Yep.
So I've been working on phrasings and chewing that over. So I haven't put it out there yet.
Okay. Right.
I'm working with her with that. And I guess the Christmas holidays are a good time to focus on that. And I've got speeches that I don't need to change them completely. I can just adapt them.
Yeah.
You know, so really it's going to be, once I've worked out the tweaking of my website and the words that I'm using, once I do that, then I'll be revisiting everything that I've learned about marketing and making so many calls a day, because I'll have what I'm working with.
Yeah, great.
And I'll have more confidence, because I was thinking, why am I not picking up the phone? And it was because I didn't want to have that conversation. But this conversation about change, that I run to.
Yeah.
So
right.
That's my thing.
It sounds like next year's got looking good for you.
I hope so. I'm sick of this, almost gains. So yeah, I think it'll be different. It'll be good. It'll be. Yeah. And I've been doing a lot of ministry, so you don't do that for money.
Yeah.
You do get paid, but it's not like, oh, here's my fee.
Yeah.
So yeah, hey Tarran. Yeah. So I'm a long way off the 50.
Yeah.
But I think with what I've invested in the learning and with PSA, I feel much more confident about where I'm going with the material that I'll be using. Yeah,
cool. Excellent. Just very quickly, welcome to the National President Tarran Deane and the National Vice President Russell Pearson. Great to have you both on the call. Yes, the golden microphone of destiny. Fantastic. We'll get to your bit in a moment, Tarran, so sit back, relax. We're just sort of finding out where everybody's at and what's stopping them from going further. Donna is next on my rotation, so I shall unmute you. And Donna, where are you at? What do you need to move forward?
I need more focus for sure. Yep. So I'm juggling several parts of my business constantly. I know I'm going to get there. I reckon next year is definitely the year. So I don't know, maybe I'm more than halfway there, like this year. So I only sort of started the professional speaking stuff earlier in the year. So I feel like I'm hitting a bit of a stride, but it's just that getting all these things to work at the same time is sometimes pretty challenging.
Yeah, I reckon it can be challenging, like you're talking about the juggling. Many of us have businesses with different elements that one almost comes at the cost of the other. So having some kind of focus and understanding how much each part is going to play in your business is important, and allocating your resources accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm definitely experiencing some success, so that's cool. Like a lot of the gigs, the majority of the gigs I do are paid, and certainly in the last quarter I probably got to speak, I don't know, 15 times. So it's building for sure. I like the idea of like an accountability partner, and I don't know if like there's an opportunity to have like some sort of mentoring arrangement as well. I think I sort of have a few people that are informal mentors, but I don't know if, I guess it'd be weird to have a PSA mentoring scheme that's for people who aren't actually PSA members. So I don't know. Maybe the informal mentoring is the way to go.
There's nothing stopping you from, looking at one of the 9 people on the screen currently and going, ooh, they seem like fun. I'm going to have a conversation with them offline and say, hey, how about we just, have a weekly or a fortnightly accountability call. I know there was a group of 4 people, and we would talk to each other every Monday morning. Did that for 4 years, and it was very helpful in many ways. So
that makes sense. So I think it's if not, it's when, not if.
Yeah, great. Awesome.
And I appreciate all the support that you've given us. And I need to watch lots of those great videos.
Yeah, great. Pleasure. Excellent. Thank you, Donna. The lovely Philippa Chalice, now with boxes of books stacked on the bookshelf behind.
Everyone else,
lovely. What's going on?
Everyone else's but mine. Well, for those of you who don't know my story, I'm a very long-standing member of what was NSAA back in 91, when I was 10, you understand. And since then, we moved to 2001, and I was going to make application for CSP. However, my family circumstances, my husband was District Governor of Lyons, and I travelled to 72 clubs and I gave 72 speeches, but of course I didn't have the income that year. The next year I wasn't well, and so my 3 years of in excess of didn't work. So I've cruised along since then, up until 2 years ago. And 2 years I had a change of circumstance and a health issue last year. So I wasn't doing it. I was just doing it piecemeal. Now, because I'm on my own, having been widowed those 2 years ago, I need to get out there and earn some money. So whilst I'll still do the pro bono work, I'm looking to ramp it up. And I was just going to move away. I was distraught to think I'd lose membership and not have continuity. And I thought, that's okay, which I'll do. But now I have got a focus. And it's interesting how necessity gives you a different aim. And listening to what you were saying, both Chris and Donna in particular, that you've got to make that move and do it. I now have a different targeted audience. My main income is speaking. And I have done something that I've done for everybody else and mentored everybody else. I'm now saying, here is a figure, which is whatever I've thought of and doubled it, and they come to half, and that's fine. And I'm getting paid well. And I was going to step back, as I said, but all of a sudden I'm finding that the bookings are there. And I'm doing something I haven't done for years. I'm picking up the phone and ringing the past clients. Unpacking all this meant that I have found folders, and I've been naughty. I didn't pursue. So I know it's all there. I need to look, and I will go back and have a look in the vault and check out all the other things there. And my aim is within 3 years, you've got to sit on 50,000?
No, just one.
Only one now?
Yep, just for professional member, one.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's my goal for next year. And I do need help. Yep. I need to be kept accountable because I'm so busy doing for other people in the past, you notice I'm saying, and I would embrace one of the best years I had of recent times is when I was part of one of the forums.
Yep.
And all those people, when I was in the forum, we actually still all come together. Thrilled that we can help, and we'll be going back to making contact and saying, hey guys, we're not formal anymore, but let's do it. And I think that they're people I would ask to be accountable to.
Yeah, great. And can I say, you are not on your own with the lack of follow-up of past clients and prospects. It is incredibly common. Some of the work that I do with exhibiting, the majority of what they're there for is to get leads. 75% of the leads that they get are not followed up with. So, and that's like straight away. So we're not even talking past clients. So, you know, I'm guilty of it as much as the next person. So don't beat yourself up about that one. That's very common. So. And
look, I have embraced and been in days gone by, it was the board. You now call it an executive team or whatever you call it. I've lost track of what it's called these days. And I found the years that I was involved with that, because I guess I was up front as being one of the team, that I wanted to make sure that I did everything right. And if I was telling people to make calls, I'd do them myself. And I've sort of stepped back. And I do need someone to, someone who's going to stand over me like you or Russell and do it.
With the fluffy slipper. So, all right, great. Thank you, Philippa. Appreciate that. Ross, you're next in my rotation of screens, and you've updated the background. Loving it. That's delightful now.
Hi, team. Hi, Warwick. I guess if you fall off the wagon, you can't get upset for not getting picked for the team. So look, I'm already getting support for more focus and consistency in my business.
Great. How far away are you from professional member? Okay, so a little bit of effort required there. That's fantastic.
Oh, within the next 6 months.
Yeah, great.
Got some new programs happening in the new year. I've got some one-to-one help. I'm on a mastermind with some other PSA friendlies. I've done a lot. I've forgotten a lot of what I've already done. I just need to bring stuff together.
And I think that's the joy of going back to some of those previous sessions is it's not that you don't know it, it's that you know it but don't do it. I know for me, I've had to learn the same thing multiple times, then go, oh, that's right, picking up the phone. That's a great idea. And there was a whole session that we did on telephone sales. So there are some great resources, not just for the Getting to Professional member, but in the vault per se. So please make sure you take advantage of them. All right, cool. Thanks, Ross. Philippe. Oh, hang on, Ross. Yes.
Can you see it? The mark there from the hatitis. Too many hats.
Yeah. A focus can help. There's no doubt about it. So, all right, Philippe, where you at? What's happening? What's going on? What's it going to take for you to get to professional member?
It's going to take another few months, I think. For me, I'm still learning the craft, so I'm still on stage. I was speaking last week. I'm going to speak next week, and that's the journey. Few gigs were paid, so that's very nice. And it's just a matter of increasing those ones and decreasing the other ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all good. It's all moving forward. Still working on my positioning too, to have a stronger positioning. And so yeah, all fine. It's gonna happen.
Great. I just want to comment on, and it's not about you, Philippe. It's about many people who go, I'm almost ready. I'm learning the craft. I'm almost ready. Can I humbly suggest to you, you are more than ready. There are so many people out there on stage that I'm thinking they're not quite ready, but they're getting paid and getting paid well. So I like the idea, and it was Paul McCarthy, CSP, who said it's really good to have someone else pay you as you learn. And, you know, the number of times where, you know, someone said, oh, can you do this? And I'm like, yes. And so I'm getting paid to create content and create a skill set and put it out there. Some of my first, you know, online webinars and et cetera, someone else wanted it. And I'm like, great. Yep, I can do that. So, and knowing that I can deliver, it's not that I'm, you know, being unprofessional or not delivering, but having seen you and some of the stuff that you do, Philippe, and a lot of other people out there who doubt their skill set, can I sincerely say you're ready? Okay. There's no doubt you can get better. I don't know anyone who can't get better. Yeah. But it's like, there's early on in PSA, I learned there's a difference between being good and being there. And you want to be there. So you don't, you know, it might not be good, but you're there. You're getting paid, you're getting value, whether it's money or contract, and you're building it. So don't be scared of doing that. So just that's a thought that came to mind. Russell, not going to talk to you, but thanks for being here anyway. I'm going to hand over to Tarran. Tarran, just so you know, I've briefly said to everyone that everyone will always be welcome as a guest at PSA. We are not saying to people, hey, see you later. People are always welcome, which, as you've heard, has come as a relief to some people. So over to the presidential message of what 2019 or the next chapter of PSA holds, and what part people get to play in it.
Well, firstly, can I just say thank you to everyone for being on the call, and to past participants who have obviously invested in themselves time after long days in the office or on platforms around the country and beyond, but especially to you, Warwick. It's a big task to take on as an immediate past president. So I know Russell would join me on behalf of the board to say thank you for stepping in and providing this. And to many of you on the screen, most of you, I would say that I know you in part, or certainly have spent a great deal of time with you in my local Queensland chapter or at other conferences. So I just want to say thank you, because PSA moving forward will continue to take the best of all of us that have invested, whether affiliate or CSP, all the way through into the future. That sense of spirit and what we all bring will continue to be present, because our hope is, as Warwick has shared, is that you will continue to come and position yourselves with PSA at chapter events, at public events like convention, and even road shows, or if we have public webinars or situations like this emerging under Russell's leadership from April and beyond. The intention is that this 2.5 years of change process really be consolidated come December 31. And it's been the baton It's been the baton through 3 presidents, Michael McQueen, Warwick Merry and myself. And Russell's going to be taking the lead come the Monday post-convention in March. And so for all of us, we're very confident in what PSA has achieved thus far and the direction we're heading in as a true authority association, the industry peak body for professionals who inform, inspire and influence through the spoken word. Professional membership and CSP status is what we're looking at. We will continue to develop greater strategic alliance partnerships with key stakeholders in the community that we believe add an extra ounce of value to our professional members and CSPs, making it even more appealing for folks like yourself to feel compelled to really hit the target and strive for it, not just because of those strategic benefits, but because you want to be part of something bigger than your own business. Because something happens when we gather together as a company of people. And I remember when Russell and I were both chapter presidents, incoming for Queensland and Victoria, respectively, and we went to Phoenix, Arizona, to the Chapter Leadership Institute with NSA over there. And we got a glimpse of how PSA fits into the whole GSF picture. So know this, that as affiliates and provisional members, that if you continue to stretch and you continue to develop your business model in such a way that you want to be part of this, that wherever you go in the world, there's a home. There's a GSF member organisation that you can always tap into. So the future is looking bright. It would be remiss of me if I didn't do a shout out for 2 things. One, the call to really consider your position now come December 31st. Is there something that you could do as a stretch project between now and, say, the 21st of December that would help you get across the line in terms of your presentation generated income? Is there something that you could do? A public workshop, a round table presentation to a C-suite. Think about what you could do. And by all means, if I extend an invitation, Warwick, to those on this call, so sorry if you're watching the recording, but if you're on this call and your face is in my screenshot, and let me take a screenshot literally right now, yay. So I've now got it. I just invite you to jump on my website, tarrandeane.com, and click on the Book Tarran tab on the homepage and schedule a time with me between now and the 21st of December. I've got some 45-minute time slots available for our PSA and GSF members that might be here, because I'd love to help you see what you can do between now and December 31st. But December 31st is a dotted line insofar as come January 1st, if you're ready to lodge your application, all power to you. You can lodge your professional member application anytime your business model is ready to support that application. So please work towards your goals and connect with us and stay active on the public social media pages on Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn, because we're going to miss you if you don't do that and if you are absent from our hearts and our minds at chapter events. So stay connected, because there's no growth in isolation.
Excellent. Thank you, Tarran, except I'm muted. No, I'm not muted. Yay.
You're good.
Thank you very much. Russell, I lied. We are going to hear from you. As the incoming president from 2019, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
I think just continuing on from what Tarran just said, you will always be welcome.
Yeah.
And so do not feel like the chapter events are not a place for you. They are your place. Continue to come to them. Continue to come to the meetups that surround PSA. Continue to come to the convention. Who's coming to convention? Fantastic. The others who haven't put their hand up, there's no reason not to be at convention. It's your convention.
Yeah.
So continue to be part of the community. We are that. We're a community. And one of the things we're going to continue to do is to communicate more broadly than even we're doing this year. We're going to continue to spread the word wider and wider and wider. So we're not going to let you get away.
We're going to pursue you.
That's right. And so it's not that you're invited back, you are part of the community. Don't walk away. Yeah. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about that. But everything Tarran just said was absolutely magnificent.
Great. Thanks, Russell. Okay, so we still have a bit more time. If you have any questions or anything, happy to give it to you. Great thought from Tarran about what can you do in the next month to get across the line. If you only need 30 grand or 20 grand and you've got 10 clients who would pay you $2,000 for a 2-day workshop, there is no reason why you couldn't quickly put one on in the start of January or mid-December. And you can, try these things. And I know for me, there's one of the webinars we did was, 5 different ways to earn 50 grand or something. So check that one out. I know one of the things that I've done in the past is I've put on a workshop and I've sold it before I've created it or booked the space. And then if no one bought a ticket, I didn't have to do anything. It was brilliant. But what if I got 1 or 2 people buying tickets, then great, then I can book the venue and do all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm doing some of that sort of stuff at the moment. And so if your goal is say 20 grand and you only make 10, oh, poor you've only got $10,000. That'd be disappointing, even if it's $4,000, so it's like, it's stepping stones along the way. So there's, January, February, there's always a market for people like, how to get the most out of 2019, the 5 different things you can do for blah, blah, blah. Plan your year. Tarran's got that thing going on. So, so there's a whole lot of stuff that you could do should you choose to. Trish, with your new topic, it might be a great way to sort of introduce it, leading for 2019 or, agility in 2019, how to be flexible. Chris, you could have lessons on making your hair blue. I don't know. I'm sure there's something you could come up with. But, you guys know your subject matter area. Or do a joint venture. You might think, I don't have a very big database, but maybe Chris and Donna together, your database is huge. And so all you got to do is get 5 each. You really don't have to do too much to take it to the next level. Having said that, public workshops are a pain in the ass. But if they work, they can be quite good. So I swore off them, but I'm running 2 at the moment. It's weird. So,
Warwick, can I add to that? So just with this is something I did because I looked at the collateral I already had for an e-course I created, and I went, oh, my cash flow looks a bit tight during September, October. What have I got that I can repurpose? So know this, like Warwick has said, you've already got the content somewhere in your brain. What can you do to repurpose that? Now, when I pitched this, I pitched it with like 8 days before I was due to host it. I actually ran it from my dining table. And the person who signed up, so I just did it as a pilot program, and that was just a $1,000 registration, $997. So for me, that's the first time I've done it. That's $1,000 in my pocket because it was something I wanted to test and measure. So does it have merit? Yes. Will I tweak it and run it maybe in a couple of rural towns? Probably. Or will I do something like what Keith Abraham's doing, where he's hosted for 2 years in a row in a January, his passionate year or something like that. But I noticed on social, he's actually announcing that he's doing a webinar in December, and that's being used as a sales funnel to fill those workshops. What can you be doing now with the technology you already have to do a webinar and sell them into your course? And if it's a live webinar and you have how many more people? Is it more than 5 people on a webinar?
5, you need 5, yeah.
Yeah, you have 5 people on a webinar and you sell items off the back of that. That counts as presentation generated income. So think about what you can be doing and think outside the box with it, whether it's something like I've got or like Chris, how to maintain your balance during one of the most stressful times in the year. Join us on this complimentary 30-minute webinar, or 25-minute webinar, because you don't want to create stress. It's in between when you finish work and you go and start your Christmas shopping. Buy coffee, plug your earphones in and watch it while you're at muffin break.
Yep.
Shake it up.
How to survive your family over the Christmas period. Oh, I'd buy that.
Yeah, 5 steps, 5, 3, 5, 7 steps.
Step 1, get a new family.
Stop it. You're Mr.
Cool. All right, that's enough. I've been talking for a long time. And does anyone have any questions? Have you got any questions that you may have? Yeah, Donna, let me unmute you. There you go. You're unmuted.
So if you have an online course,
Mhm.
does that, but so it's not live, does that count as speaking income?
It depends on how you sell it. If you're selling it as a product and you've spoken live on a webinar and then sold an online course, that becomes product generated income. So that can account. If you're just selling it straight off the internet, that does not account. Does not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even if you've created the videos and everything, like it's all your content, that doesn't count.
So case in point, this course, I've got an online course called Your 90-Day Ideas to Execution that I host through Thinkific and sell through my shopping cart. I already had the collateral. I was going to take them through pretty much that same thing. But instead of selling it for $297 like I do the online course, I basically made it an in-person mastermind with a capacity that I was aiming for of 8 people. And I did it in person. So take what you've already got written as an online course and turn it into a face-to-face.
I already have it as face-to-face.
Yeah. So record it and then make your product off the back end.
Yeah.
Or if you've got face-to-face, sell one, only deliver one module and have them buy the rest as a course.
Okay. Right. So I actually just ran that workshop live and they've all bought the online course. It's only $50 to buy it if they've done the course, but that would count income.
So did you get paid for your presentation when you ran?
Yep.
So you count the face-to-face payment.
Yeah.
And you count the sales off the back end.
Cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So same with Trish. If Trish is getting paid, or like churches and ministry groups, Trish will do an honorarium or a small payment, in which case you claim that payment that they give you, plus you claim the book sales at the back end. But if you only sold books, you can't count that as presentation generated income because there's been no fee related to it at the front end. Same with me with my book sales.
Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah, so just to clarify, if we do a rotary where they don't pay us or they give us a bottle of wine or a mug, then the book sales don't count.
That's not my understanding. My understanding. So I would check the definitions.
Yeah.
My understanding is that the product-related income or product-generated income happens regardless of whether you get paid for the presentation or not.
Yeah.
But you can't count it for CSP. Like
not for CSP.
For you can't count that as one of your paid presentations.
Oh, not as a paid presentation, but for the towards the 50K.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stand corrected. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. Philippa, you had a question.
Yes, for the others who don't know, I'm known as the Laughter Lady and I run very interactive workshop style presentations.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never put them down as part of my income. I've only ever put what I've done on stage or when I MC, but I'm obviously not using that area.
But the laughter workshops that you're doing, workshops are a valid modality. So if you're earning money for your laughter workshops, that counts.
And what about when I just do an hour's presentation with an audience and interact with them? I'm doing a lot of that in community areas, and they do remunerate me. Even just if I won't do it for nothing.
Yeah. No, that all counts. Like that's
a paid presentation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if I add those in, that sounds more constructive.
Encouraging.
Almost there.
Encouraging.
And I'd love to collaborate with everybody and anybody. That everyone who's doing a workshop, you call me in and I just do a laughter session within. So if I'm getting paid just to be part of somebody else's, I can still claim that?
Yeah. Because you're paid to present. Even if you're doing a 20-minute element, as long as it meets it's very well recorded on the requirements. But if you're getting paid to present and earning money for it, it counts.
Just the smallest
Russell, you had a comment?
Yeah, just the smallest bit of clarity. It's what you get paid, Philippa.
Correct.
Not
Yes.
what the gets paid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
what
that
you
one.
get paid.
That's
And the other
definitely
thing with selling books, because, you know, for 20 years I'm supposed to have written this book, and I've now got the third title going. But I sell other people's product, other people's books.
So if you are speaking from stage and you sell product, that is product generated income. Regardless of who wrote it, you are selling product. So that does count.
Wish I'd known that years ago.
See, this is all about learning. It's only the final session. It's never too late.
So if I can add to that, so for example, I'm a registered facilitator in a psychometric tool for teams. So I pay a net license fee to that provider and add my own surplus. But what I sell, so if I sell that tool for $297, irrespective of what I have to pay for the license fee off the back end, that $297 is counted as product sales.
Yeah. It's the total sale, not the profit.
Yeah.
So, yep.
It's a revenue. Yep.
That's great news. Thank you.
You're
Pleasure.
welcome.
We love being the bearer of good news. What other questions does anyone have?
The fact that I may not renew my membership and just come along to the meetings, that of course is going to preclude me from now having the cover for the public liability under the PSA banner.
Correct.
Can I go to Gallagher's and say I'm no longer a member and ask them what they can do?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, we encourage that because recently at a board level, I had a conversation with Arthur J. Gallagher because our organisational insurance was due. So this topic came up. And one of the things that we're systemically going to be doing is providing them with a list of, like our newsletter, that the President newsletter that comes out with new members down the right-hand side. So we're making sure that we're going to let them know who's onboarding with us. And in that same way, we're going to be letting them know who they're going to be sending us a list of their members, and we'll be letting them know who out of those members have no longer maintain their subscription or no longer a part of the association as a result of their membership tier category being superseded. So that being the case, on your policy document, what we recommend is you take commercial responsibility, go straight to them as soon as possible, because we're not sure of Christmas closure dates. And so if you have public liability insurance, we need to make sure we're encouraging you to go straight to that source, because we don't handle any of the financials in relation to insurance between our members and the supplier. So make sure you go direct to Gallagher's.
Russell, can you just explain, Ross, the insurance contract will last until policy expiry? No. So my understanding...
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a contract and it was discounted 6 months ago with Gallagher, that policy contract is going to be the full 12 months.
No. We had clarity on that. The policy, the discount policy is only valid for as long as you are a member of the association. So what might happen is you may have to pay a pro rata increase for that portion where you're not a financial member.
And so they will get in touch with the appropriate affiliates and say, hey, you got a discount to here for the remaining 3 months, you got to pay extra?
I'm not clear on their process beyond that in terms of them.
But that's going to be their responsibility, yeah?
It's going to be the individual and the insurer. So we have to guard your privacy as members. So we rely on them to let us know who they have policies with. So let's say I didn't have a policy. I'm not instructing Margaret to release my details to an insurer, because she doesn't know if I have a policy or not. However, Gallagher's can send us a policy list of people who have disclosed to them that they are PSA members.
Okay.
So we can then go, yes, no, no.
Okay, cool.
So dual responsibility.
I'm more concerned with the professional indemnity rather than public liability.
It's the same policy.
Yeah, so just give them a call, Philippa, and they're lovely. Ask for Christine. So the Gallagher office is based up here in Queensland, and Christine has been our organisational contact. I'm not sure if she's full-time or part-time, but just reach out to her specifically if you've got a local Queensland number.
Mm-hmm.
Contact details are on our website.
Yes. I hope that helps.
Any other questions? Yay, everyone seems happy. Oh, yes, Donna. Here we go.
So will we still get like newsletter details of the upcoming meetings and stuff?
Yeah, so we actually have a database of 3,900 plus people that receive our newsletters. So as long as you stay subscribed, you won't be disconnected from that newsletter mail out that happens. But again, what I encourage you to do is stay connected on social media, particularly the Facebook company page. Margaret in head office uploads our events to that as well. Okay. So turn on your notifications for the national Facebook page. As changing membership tiers come into place, then that member benefit of the Facebook group will be turned off for non-professional members and non-CSPs. So you'll be reliant on the public page. So make sure you check that and make sure your email details are up to date on your subscription with PSA. Simply log in and check your email address. This has been a word from your sponsor. No.
So we won't be able to access the Queensland PSA page anymore then?
Correct.
Great.
Correct. Oh. So there's nothing preventing you as a group of aspiring professional speakers from starting your own group. You are just not authorised to have Professional Speakers Australia in any of the titles. But if you want to start your own little cheer on mastermind closed group on Facebook, then do that and spur each other on. And I say that quite comfortably because there's myself and another female speaker here in Australia, 3 in America, and we have our own private mastermind group. And we have a secret Facebook group where we share stuff week in, week out, and then that helps us run our business to then go and do more within our respective associations.
Cool.
Just one other point on that insurance. I think the point that Tarran made before is to take your professional responsibility on yourself because it is your contract. Just be aware that your contract is with Arthur Gallagher. It's not with PSA. So while there might be some conditions in there that relate to being a member of PSA, I know that some of the contracts I've certainly seen are not. And they are just straightforward policies because there might have been some alterations needed to them because of differences to the policy. It wasn't necessarily the default policy. So make sure that you are actually taking the responsibility and making the arrangements you need to do to make sure you're covered.
Yeah, the only essence with us, with PSA, was that they applied a discount. So every other aspect, as Russell said, is your commercial responsibility.
Yeah, so for instance, with me, I had some modifications made to mine. Mine does not actually rely on PSA, though it is through that original program that it was created.
It's because Russell is special, and we love him for it.
That's exactly right.
Are there any further questions? If not, I'm going to call it a wrap.
Can I do one final call for PSA convention? So knowing that this video is going to be evergreen, perhaps viewed by those not on the call and those
millions of people.
Millions of people. PSA Convention 19 is being held March 22nd to the 25th at Kingscliff, Northern New South Wales. It's a short 20-minute Uber drive from Gold Coast Coolangatta Airport. We encourage everyone to get there if they can. And if you're currently viewing this, either live on the call or as an affiliate or provisional member before December 31, please remember that you can still access that conference at member rates. But come January 1st, it's non-member rates. So if you're thinking about this and you're umming and ahhing about getting there and you think you're going to be able to have capacity to attend, then save yourself financially so that you can allocate any savings towards transport or accommodation or travel. But we'd just love to have you in the room. We're so close to the activity. It's going to be an extraordinary event. You are the message as you are, and you walk out your skills onto platforms around this great country. And if you're watching it beyond March 22nd, 2019, then stay watching professionalspeakers.org.au for the details relating to PSA Convention 2020 with your incoming president, Russell Pearson.
Woohoo!
Thank you, guys.
Without further ado, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance today and throughout the course of the year. It's been a whole lot of fun bringing you all these different sessions across a multitude of topics. As usual, this will hit the vault, and I will put a post in Facebook once it is available for watching again, as I'm sure you'd like to see it again because it was so much fun the first time round. It could only better by the 5th time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Wish you all the very best, and if I can help at all, please get in touch. I'm more than happy to assist in any way I can. All right, crew, take care. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.